For years, Princess Leonor has lived under a spotlight unlike almost anyone her age. Every appearance, every speech, and every step she takes is carefully observed, not only by Spain but by people around the world who see her as the future of the Spanish monarchy. But recently, something happened that no one could stop talking about. A decision, one final decision that has sparked headlines, endless speculation, and passionate debate among royal watchers. Suddenly, everyone seemed to have the same question. Why? Why did Princess Leonor make this choice? What does it mean for her future? And could this moment ultimately become one of the defining chapters in her journey toward the throne? Because according to many observers, this wasn't just another routine royal development. This felt different, and perhaps that's exactly why so many people are talking about it. Over the past few years, Leonor has undergone a remarkable transformation. Gone are the days when the world viewed her simply as a shy child standing beside her parents. Today, she is increasingly seen as a confident young woman preparing for one of the greatest responsibilities imaginable. Being heir to the throne isn't just a title. It's a lifelong commitment, one that demands sacrifice, discipline, and extraordinary maturity. From military training to public engagements, Leonor has spent years preparing herself for a role that millions expect her to one day fulfill. And with every passing year, expectations have continued to grow. People want answers. They want certainty. They want reassurance that the future of the monarchy is in capable hands. That pressure alone would be enough to overwhelm many adults. Yet Leonor has managed to navigate it with remarkable composure. Still, even the most carefully planned paths eventually reach important crossroads. Moments that require difficult choices. Moments that shape destinies. Moments that reveal character. And according to royal analysts, Leonor's latest decision may represent exactly that kind of moment. The reaction across Spain was immediate. Television programs devoted entire segments to discussing it. Newspapers analyzed every possible implication. Social media erupted with opinions. Supporters praised her. Critics questioned the consequences. And countless people simply tried to understand what it all meant. Because whenever the future queen makes an important decision, it affects more than just herself. It affects the institution she represents. It affects public perception, and in many ways, it influences how future generations will remember her. That's an enormous burden for someone so young. Yet perhaps those closest to Leonor understand better than anyone how seriously she takes her responsibilities. Those who have followed her journey often describe her as thoughtful, disciplined, and deeply aware of the expectations surrounding her. Unlike many young people, she has grown up knowing that personal desires must often be balanced against public duty. That reality has shaped her entire life. While others enjoyed anonymity, Leonor learned to live under constant scrutiny. Every achievement became news. Every mistake attracted attention. Every choice invited debate. And now, with this final decision, the conversations have reached a new level. Some commentators believe it demonstrates maturity. Others see it as a sign of growing independence. Still others believe it reflects the changing face of modern royalty. Whatever interpretation people choose, one fact remains undeniable. The entire country is paying attention. And perhaps that's because Leonor represents something bigger than herself. For many Spaniards, she symbolizes continuity, hope, stability, the promise that traditions can survive while adapting to a changing world. That's not a simple responsibility. History has shown that monarchies evolve or risk becoming disconnected from society. King Felipe VI has spent much of his reign trying to modernize the institution and strengthen public confidence. And many experts believe Leonor will eventually face the same challenge. But her generation is different. Today's world moves faster. Public expectations are higher. Transparency matters more than ever. Social media amplifies every controversy. And younger generations often demand authenticity above all else. This means Leonor's reign, whenever it arrives, will likely look very different from those that came before. Which is why every significant choice she makes attracts so much attention. People aren't just examining the present. They're trying to glimpse the future. What kind of queen will she become? Will she follow tradition? Will she embrace change? Will she succeed in bringing younger generations closer to the monarchy? These questions have no simple answers. But moments like this give people clues. And that's why her latest decision has become such a major topic of discussion. Interestingly, public fascination with Leonor has grown steadily over the years. At first, attention focused primarily on her parents, King Felipe VI, Queen Letizia, their efforts to modernize the monarchy, their response to various challenges. But gradually, Leonor herself emerged as the center of attention. People began noticing her confidence, her poise, her growing sense of duty. Her speeches became stronger, her appearances more assured, and slowly but surely, she earned admiration both inside and outside Spain. This growing popularity has made every new development surrounding her even more significant. Because expectations create curiosity, and curiosity creates conversation, which explains why her latest choice has sparked such widespread interest. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of all is how Leonor herself handles the attention. Despite living under extraordinary pressure, she has rarely shown signs of being overwhelmed. She understands that criticism comes with the territory. She understands that not everyone will agree with every decision. And perhaps most importantly, she understands that leadership often requires difficult choices. Choices that cannot please everyone. History is filled with leaders who faced similar challenges. What mattered wasn't universal approval. What mattered was conviction, responsibility, and the willingness to accept the consequences of important decisions. Those qualities often define greatness. And many supporters believe Leonor is gradually developing them. Of course, the road ahead remains uncertain. No one can predict exactly what challenges await her. The world itself is changing rapidly. Economic pressures, political divisions, social transformations, new technologies, changing values. Future monarchs will need to adapt in ways previous generations never imagined. And Leonor will one day inherit those realities. Perhaps that's why so many people are fascinated by her evolution. They aren't simply watching a princess. They're watching a future queen in the making. They're witnessing someone learning, growing, and preparing for responsibilities that few people can truly understand. That journey is what makes her story so compelling. And moments like this remind everyone that history isn't made only through grand ceremonies or dramatic events. Sometimes, history is shaped through decisions. Quiet decisions, personal decisions, decisions that reveal priorities and values. Decisions whose true significance becomes clear only with time. Could Leonor's final decision become one of those moments? Many believe so, others prefer to wait before drawing conclusions. But regardless of where opinions fall, one thing is certain. People are talking, and they are talking because they recognize that Princess Leonor stands at the center of a remarkable story. A story that is still being written. A story filled with expectations, responsibilities, and enormous challenges. A story that will ultimately determine the future of one of Europe's oldest monarchies. As Spain looks ahead, millions continue watching with curiosity and anticipation. Not because they expect perfection, but because they understand something important. The future rarely announces itself loudly. Sometimes, it arrives quietly, one decision at a time. And perhaps that is why everyone is talking about Princess Leonor's final decision. Because whether supporters or critics, whether admirers or skeptics, people sense that they may be witnessing the beginning of a new chapter. One that could define not only Leonor's legacy, but the future of the Spanish monarchy itself. And if recent years have taught us anything, it is that Princess Leonor has no intention of stepping away from the destiny that awaits her. Instead, she appears ready to face it. And the world is watching,